touch that. They can't touch that. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down with the rhythm. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down with the rhythm. Don't stop, don't stop it, 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 don't stop. We getting down with the sound of the old school vibe. Keep it alive, with my tribe survive. Everybody know we gon' do it like this. Come on, everybody, don't stop, don't quit. We getting down with the sound of the old school vibe. Keep it alive, with my tribe survive. Everybody know we gon' do it like this. Come on, everybody, don't stop, don't quit. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down with the rhythm. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down with the rhythm. Don't stop, don't stop it, don't touch that. Don't stop it, don't touch that. Don't stop it, don't touch that. Don't stop. They can't touch that. They can't touch that. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down with the rhythm. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down with the rhythm. Don't stop, don't stop it, 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 don't stop it.
There we go, boys. On. This is the Hags Prickly Pear. My favorite color. I think it's called like Marfa Light hook. Probably the most retarded way to rig this thing, I'm sure, but it's just the way I like to use it. It's just these little fish arrow free rig sinkers. We're gonna get out a different color. I forget the name of this color right here, but I really like it. I also really like that one right there. But the way you want to rig these guys is they have a little pre-manufactured hole in them from where they get stored on that wire. There it is right there. So it looks like a little butthole. And I go through that little pre-made hole out the other side. There's obviously a hole on that side. That's the hole that they come on that wire. Close my little weedless keeper here so that we don't get quite as hung up in the brush. Really like that color. There was no questions asked. Get in here, dude. Bro choked it. Small fish, but a lot of fun catching them like that. Run up. Got it. That's probably my favorite thing about rigging it with that core tackle is man, the hookup ratio on that core tackle, the straight shank weighted wacky style hook. You know, you remove that little spring from the hook and bait goes on there really well, and the hookup ratio with that hook is incredible. Better fish right there, guys. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh yeah. He just died. Oh. All right, guys, well, we got her. Beautiful fish. Inhale the Hags Prickly Pear. That's that core tackle, weighted hook, and we added a little free rig weight to it because of this wind. Absolutely beautiful fish. Post spawn, big head. We're gonna get her back. Hell yeah. Nice. All right, guys. Well, that was a pretty fun afternoon of fishing. Take just a few minutes here and talk about sea urchin baits. More specifically, the ones that I'm throwing are the Hags Prickly Pears, and the reason I'm throwing those is because they're available. You can go to Lakeland Fishing Outfitters out there on Lake Parker. The last several weeks, every time I've been in there, they've had plenty of them in stock. They've had a really good selection of colors. And they also are the ones that I found and started, when I started getting into these about a month or two ago, and started really experimenting with this stuff. Yeah, this technique has been around for a while, and by this point in the game, it is no secret that they are highly effective baits. There is, however, almost, I'll call it some animosity that surrounds certain styles of fishing. More specifically talking about the use of forward-facing sonar and baits like this right here. I try to keep an open mind about things, and really what this video was, or is intended to be, is my opinion of the sea urchin thing. I've had enough people kind of reach out and ask me, hey, what do you think about this? And so I decided to buy a bunch of them, go through some different styles of rigging, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, learn about it, try it all myself, and basically through the scientific method develop my own opinion of what rigging style works best for me and what do I think of this thing. The long and short of it is it's a highly effective presentation when targeting a fish in a certain water column. Suspending fish that are chasing bait, and fish that are on brush piles, or fish that are on any kind of vertical cover that you're able to cast beyond and fish to. This bait is highly effective, and the reason it is highly effective is because of its buoyancy in the water and its extremely slow rate of fall. But during its extremely slow rate of fall, it has a ton of action. It has a lot of action staying in the fish's strike zone for an extended period of time. And so with the use of forward-facing sonar, you have more of an ability to trigger that fish to bite this lure. Sometimes they just like a straight fall. Sometimes they like it to be popped a couple times. I've had them run it down on a straight retrieve. You have to let the fish kind of talk to you and let you know what they want every day. Getting into some rigging methods, like we talked about in this video, guys, my preferred hook is from Core Tackle. This is their weighted weedless wacky straight shank hook. This is the 1/8 ounce version. I don't remember the size of the hook. It's probably a 1 or a 2 aught hook. It's got a little wire weed guard on it, which keeps it out of the brush and out of a dock post pretty well. A lot of days that weight on that works pretty well. Today with the wind, I went ahead and added another 1/8 ounce free rig weight on a couple of bobber stops above it. And now it'll cast like a rocket into the wind, but it didn't really affect the rate of fall that much. Super effective. I got that on 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. The rod that I was using, that I've been using for this and was using all day today, the one that the camera was mounted to, Fitzgerald Fishing Stunner HD2. And this is their 7.3 medium. I absolutely love this rod. Beautifully well balanced spinning rod with an elongated cork foregrip, which is good because the more experienced you become with spinning tackle, you begin to hold the rod a little bit further up in front of the reel. This is where you should be holding your spinning rod. I get a lot of clients that hold spinning rods down here. This isn't correct. This is noob stuff. This is experienced angler stuff. The farther you have it up here, the more balance you have, the more control you have over the rod, the more feel you have with strikes, coming through the blank of the rod. Abu Garcia spinning rod, or spinning reel, 20-pound braid, nothing crazy. My favorite hook straight out of the pack. I've bent the wire up, but this is the Core Tackle weighted straight shank weedless wacky hook. And it's got that corkscrew on there so you can screw your Senko bait onto that and it won't fly off. I really like these hooks for this technique, but what I do is I'll take a pair of split ring pliers and basically just start turning on that spring, and it's really light gauge wire and it snaps clean off. And so now what we've got is a weighted weedless wacky hook, and we just simply take our sea urchin and I go right through the hole that is already molded into the bait. They come on that wire in the package. I run it up against the weight a little bit, Make sure all the little tentacles are situated, and that's how I'm throwing this most days. A great way to present this bait. You know, if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of great videos. A lot of guys are using treble hooks. I don't like the treble hooks, and it's mostly because I'm primarily fishing this around brush. The other way that works really well for this is this is going to be another weedless wacky hook. This is a Gamakatsu. This is the WG. This is a weedless wacky hook. It's got that little plastic weed guard that kind of clips over the hook there. It's ran through there, but what I've done is kind of like a pompano rig. If you guys have ever done any pompano fishing, you know, and you tie a loop knot with a teaser hook ahead of your pompano jig. Same thing here. I have tied a loop knot to the hook, and I've put a free rig weight on the back side of that loop knot. This technique works great too. There's all kinds of ways that you can rig these things, guys. And personally, I think that's half the fun of this technique, is finding out, you know, what style of rigging for it works best for you. Like I said, I like the core tackle stuff. As far as a rod goes, anywhere from 7 to 7.3, but the action is pretty important. You need a little bit of give in the action so that you can whip a super lightweight bait out there. The 7.3 medium from Fitzgerald seems to have the perfect amount of give for me. I really like this rod. It's got great length, but it has a lot of give in the tip, which allows it to bend on the backside and really propel that bait going forward as the rod loads through the cast. I'm going to say this at the risk of sounding like your typical boomer who's hating on live scope, and I'm not. I love using my scope, but you know, I saw a thing the other day from a dude that basically said people who use forward-facing sonar can't fish. And you know, I don't believe that to be true. I will tell you, there are a lot of people these days that without it absolutely suck balls on the water. They really do. It seems like they can go catch every fish in the lake and win any tournament any given day as long as they've got their scope. Take the scope away from them and they suck. In regards to that, you know, I really think that as bass fishermen, you should be well-rounded. You should be able to go throw a frog and flip and locate fish based off of seasonal transitions and behaviors and all that kind of stuff. Like, you should try to be a well-rounded and a well-versed and a skilled angler who doesn't only solely rely on the scope. When it comes to scope fishing, you know, the jig and minnow thing, highly effective. The sea urchin thing, highly effective. I think they're really cool and they're a lot of fun. You do find yourself out there on the water basically the whole time, you know, zoning out, staring at a screen, and kind of just takes away from the whole thing of getting out there in the water and going fishing. I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to explain without I don't really know how to put into words what it is I'm trying to convey, but for doing that stuff, it's really cool. But as someone who really likes to go frogging and flipping and swim jigging and stuff like that, I think it's equally as important to be really good at that stuff and to not lose sight of being able to just go out on the boat and not worry about a screen and go fishing. I'm on both sides of the fence with it. If you like using your scope, I recommend getting some prickly pears, trying them out. They're a lot of fun and they really work. Other than that, guys, that's all we got for right now. Short day today. Had a dermatologist appointment today. They only had to freeze off one thing on my ear, so that means we're doing better with sun protection. I say it at the end of all my videos, make sure you guys go and see your dermatologist. It's very important. Make sure you guys are wearing sunscreen and protecting yourself from the sun. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys are turning on notifications. Got a lot of content coming out now. The guide trips are slowing down. I'm going to be doing a lot more fun fishing. And starting May 1st, I'm going to be activating that members only content stuff we've been talking about for a while. That kind of stuff's going to be a lot more in-depth stuff on how I set up my graphs, how I set up my live scope, you know, how to really read and break down contour maps, what it is I'm looking for on places like Lake Toho. And I'm going to be doing a lot of just going and fun fishing and stuff like that, guys. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, turn on notifications for the channel, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about prickly pears. And yeah, we're gonna leave it at that, guys.